Hello and welcome to the second in our series of Insightful Planning with Astute videos. I'm Elliot Unsworth, Head of Client Proposition at Astute Private Wealth, and today I'm excited to show you how we helped a client discover the most suitable method of saving for retirement, and to show you visually how cash flow planning assisted us in explaining our rationale. Allow me to introduce you to one of the cash flow tools that we use. This is a powerful tool that revolutionizes how we plan for and visualize your financial future. Cash flow forecasting allows us to paint a detailed picture of your financial landscape, helping you make informed decisions and steering you toward your goals, which you will see here. So, let's get started. We began, as we always do, by collecting our clients' financial data, income, expenses, savings, investments, debts, and future plans. We then organise this information into clear visuals, giving them a bird's eye view of their financial life. We don't just stop at the present. We can forecast finances into the future. We can include as many life events as you like, such as with this client who wants to upsize the family home at 45, send the children to private school between the age of 50 and 55, retire at 67, go on the holiday of a lifetime at 68, and buy a luxury car at 70. By accounting for outside influences such as inflation, interest, and investment growth assumptions, we can project how finances might evolve. This foresight empowers us to make proactive decisions today, aiming for a secure financial position tomorrow. Let's first look at a client's basic cash flow graphs to get an idea of the information it's showing us. Take a look at this. All we have in this plan so far is an assumption of David's basic cost of living, $30,000 per annum. This level of spending is assumed to continue for the rest of David's life, and the reason it keeps increasing year on year is because of the impact of inflation. The total expenditure is represented by the black line. The reason the bars each year are red is because currently there's no income, for example salary, or capital, for example assets to make withdrawals from, built into the plan to cover his expenditure. Hence why there's a shortfall every year, shown by the red. Having red in the plan is a sign that your finances may become stretched at some point. Now fortunately, David is working and earning a salary of $50,000, so we can add this into the plan. Now you can see the blue income line is surpassing the total expenditure. Where the blue is above the line, it means there's a surplus over expenditure and David is capable of making some regular savings. The blue, or income, stops at age 67, and this is because David has told us that this is when he would like to retire. Because we have nothing else built into the plan yet, the red emerges again past this point as there's no income or capital available to cover his expenditure requirements in retirement. In reality, our client may have some resources set aside for retirement, such as some pension funds and savings, as well as an eventual entitlement to the state pension, which we can build in later. To summarise, this screen shows us ongoing lifestyle costs and how they can be met by income and capital withdrawals. Ideally, a financial plan would have an absence of red, or shortfalls, meaning you're expected to remain financially secure for the rest of your life. Not all plans will look as simple as this, however. As I'm sure you know, the number of changes that can occur in a lifetime are numerous and vast, and your own cash flow forecast is more likely to look something like this. The software will also show us how the value of his capital might change over time, and when he might run out of money. We can also test various what-if scenarios, including different retirement dates, spending habits, investment and withdrawal tax planning strategies. This helps us anticipate how changes like buying a house, retiring early, or adjusting investments may affect his financial trajectory. However, the focus of this video is the conversation we had around saving for retirement. Let's take a look at the power of the scenario comparison tool and how it's been used to drive our conversations and decisions. David is currently working and has a surplus of income of £5,000 per year. By the time he retires at age 67, David knows he'll be entitled to a state pension and a final salary pension scheme from a previous employer that will cover the bulk of his lifestyle requirements. Taking this into account, we've projected that David will have a shortfall of income of £6,000 per year in retirement. And David wants to know the best place to save his £5,000 per year now so that it can be used to generate his required £6,000 per year of income in retirement. After discussions, we focused on two possible solutions and used our cash flow forecasting tool to compare them, ISA versus pension. In the first projection, we can see the impact of contributing £5,000 to ISA every year until retirement, and then making withdrawals of £6,000 per year. We've assumed investment growth of 1.5% above inflation. You can see that this is achievable for some time, but eventually we hit a shortfall by the end of the projection. If we instead contribute £5,000 per annum into a pension, we get a slightly different result. Firstly, for every £80 that David pays into a pension, the government would add £20 in tax relief, subject to certain limits and maximums. This means that the gross contribution will be £6,250, a whole 25% higher than when contributing to ISA. You can see that the increased contributions to retirement make this plan a lot more sustainable, with the desired withdrawals of £6,000 per year in retirement being plausible all the way to age 100. Of course, there is more to consider when comparing investment into ISA versus pension. For example, ISAs don't benefit from tax relief on contributions, but they do grow tax-free, and withdrawals aren't subject to taxation either. With a pension, although your contributions benefit from tax relief on the way in, your withdrawals could be subject to income tax on the way out. However, it's worth considering that for this client, as is often the case, he will be in a lower tax bracket in retirement than in his working life, meaning the rate of tax relief when he contributes to his pension is likely to be higher than the tax paid when drawing an income. In addition to this, he can withdraw 25% of the pension tax-free. Furthermore, we explained that pensions are generally exempt from inheritance tax, whereas ISAs are not. ISAs can be accessed at any time, whereas pensions can only be accessed after age 55, rising to 57. It's not a problem for David, who wishes to wait until 67 to make these withdrawals, but still worth considering. Ultimately, both the ISA and pension have their merits. For David, pension contributions were the most suitable option, but the choice depends on an individual's specific financial objectives and circumstances. Cashflow enables us to visualize these scenarios for the client's specific circumstances, empowering us to make informed decisions in our financial planning journey. So, we've covered some considerations when looking to save for retirement and how we came to the most appropriate course of action for our client. Next time, we will dive into a more complicated case. We hope you've enjoyed this video. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to contact your financial planner. If you'd like to follow along with our videos, don't forget that you can subscribe to our YouTube channel. See you next time.